Hello, everybody. Welcome to She Shoots podcast, Women Empowering Women in the Shooting Community, Season 5, Episode 51. Tonight's episode is Dressing for Success. We're revolutionizing women's clothing and equipment, or outdoor equipment. Our host tonight, as per usual, we got Denise Tomlin here. We also have Gacy Gavinchuk from Lady Guns, and obviously I'm here too, Kelly Melanson from Project Maple Seed, the CCFR Women's Program as well. So Regina Ruiz Ordonez is not with us tonight. She has some family business or personal business to do. She usually does this. So it's fallen to me to introduce the show tonight. So thanks, Regina. I appreciate it. So, just a quick reminder before we get into the episode, though. We have a brand new YouTube channel. We got our Facebook page as well as the Instagram. It's all under She Shoots now, and you can go and search that out. It'll be easy for you to find us as well. So, and also stay connected about all the amazing episodes and upcoming guests that we have. We're really excited about the episodes that we do have coming up that we're planning for this year, but we want to also hear from you too. So tell us what type of shows that you want to hear about, or guests, or even suggest guests too, if you have some that may be interested in coming on. We would love to hear from you. Also, if you have any upcoming ladies' days or range days that you want us to promote as well, we'll do that at the end of the show. But get in touch with us too, or if you even want to sponsor us too, we're always looking for sponsors to help out with supporting the podcast too. So if you'd like to do that, you could also send us an email at sheshootspodcast@gmail.com. It's quite simple to send us either an email, or you can send us a direct message as well, and we'll be happy to hear from you. So why don't we get into the show itself? Deneen, why don't you introduce our guest tonight?
Outstanding. Thanks, Kelly. I just want you to know, I think you did a great job taking over for Regina, but we'll be happy for her to be back next month.
We will, because she has it down pat. And
she does indeed. She does indeed. Well, tonight's show, we're really excited. We have a guest from a company that I can say I've been a big fan of since almost the beginning. And so I have the pleasure, Kristie, of introducing you. I'm going to read a little bit of your bio, and then we're going to get into some questions so that our audience can understand what it takes to stand up a business in this industry. And hopefully we're going to have some great conversation, along the way. So let's learn a little bit about you, Kristie Pike. You're the founder and CEO of Prois. Was raised in the small mountain town of Gunnison, Colorado, and you still live there. You're a registered nurse by trade, and you established Prois in 2008 out of frustration for a lack of performance-driven hunting gear for women. And I love that, because myself and my fellow co-hosts all have complained about that same frustration, as many of our friends have told us as well. So you wrote in your bio, you live in an area where all outdoor pursuits abound. And you found it interesting that outdoor industries from mountain biking to skiing had top-end technical gear, and the only option for female hunters was cotton-based men's gear. And I think the term was pink it and shrink it. They used to give us all sorts of things like that. So with that, Kristie took her passion for the outdoors and moved to create a brand that would provide women the highest quality hunting gear. And that she has, and I can say as a wearer of it, that it is. Prois has maintained this mission since 2008 and currently has the most comprehensive line of women's hunting gear. And I love this. Prois hangs its hat on the fact that we can cover women of all shapes and sizes for any hunt, anywhere. So you continue to manage this out of Gunnison, where you reside on your family ranch with your husband, your 2 grown daughters, who are married to, you wrote, ridiculous men. Can't wait to hear about that. Who have in turn gifted you with 4 funky and funny grandkids. You and your husband, Steve, are constantly on the move, riding horses in the high country or rafting in the Gunnison River, fishing and hunting anywhere and everywhere, and hanging with what sounds like your lovely yet insane family. So, bio put behind us. Welcome to the show, Kristie Pike.
Oh my gosh, thanks for having me. I'm honored. I really am. It's great. So thanks for having me here.
Our pleasure.
Kristie, I want your life. I really do.
I don't think you want all of it. I don't. You want all of it.
Well, your bio just speaks so highly of everything that you've been doing and the work that you've been doing. So I'm really excited to have you on the podcast tonight. We all are. But yeah, it's so fantastic to have you here. So again, thanks for coming on. So why don't we get it right into the episode? The bio talks a lot about where you were born and bred and what you're currently doing and your background as a nurse. But tell us a little bit more about yourself, specifically how you got into hunting and shooting, maybe a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because just creating this brand and everything. I wasn't one of those hunters that was born and raised hunting. My dad hunted some when I was a kid, but it wasn't, I never had an interest in, it just never was a thing. And I met my husband, we've been together since high school, and he was a big hunter and he was an outfitter for a number of years. And I still never really had the interest until, I guess, I don't remember when, my kids who are now in their 30s were toddlers, and my husband just put me in for a tag, and I'd already done all the hunter safety. And one day it was just like, you're going to go on an elk hunt. And I was terrified because I figured, I'm going to do everything wrong. I'm going to blow all its legs. I'm going to do everything wrong. It's terrible. And none of the terrible stuff happened. It was one of those perfect hunts, perfect shots. And that was the moment I think that all women have where the light turns on, where all of a sudden you're like, this is pretty cool and I can do this. And so I just started rolling with it, still working and having young kids and trying to roll through that. But as we got further along, and probably in 2007 is when we started really realizing, that's when we started working on Prois. Just again, like you mentioned, there was nothing out there. And it was just kind of a whiff out there that I almost thought that was my dog for a minute. I guess I can hear him out there pacing outside the door. But it was kind of a whiff. It was one of those things like, I think we could do this and let's try it, but never expected it to do anything. And it, honest to God, by dumb luck and good designs and thoughts, there's that too. But it worked, and it's led to what it has. And who would have ever thought? But that's kind of how it's gone. So, ever since that first elk hunt, when I shot my first cow, to now, it's been great.
When was that? When did you go for the first time ever?
My gosh, I know my kids were little. It was in the 90s because I can't find any pictures of it because there were 35 millimeter pictures at that time. And I can tell you that I was in jeans and a running shirt, and I had a Broncos cap on for my orange. It was the worst photo you could ever have. But my kids were really, really small. So that had to have been, like I said, in the 90s.
90s. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
It sounds like it had quite the impact on you. So do you go out as a family right now and go shooting and go to hunting with the whole entire family?
Not so much now. I mean, my husband and he'll go with me. I go by myself a lot, if locally, and, I'll go shoot birds and elk and deer. And I like to go by myself, but I love to go with him because he's so knowledgeable and stuff. My girls grew up hunting, but they're young moms now too. So their kids are wees, and they're just getting back in. We're going to go on a hunt in New Brunswick in June. So it's their first actually guided hunt where they're going with somebody other than their dad or their husbands, and first time out of the country. And it's going to be really interesting and fun. So they're on charge for it. We're starting to work on that a little bit and get out there. So I'm excited to get them out there to try something that pushes their comfort level a little bit, and they're going to have a blast.
So talk to me a little bit about that. So you said it's a guided hunt. What are you hunting? Is it going to be moose?
Bear. Yeah, bear.
Oh, bear. It's a bear hunt. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple of those there. That's for sure.
I heard there's one or two. Be patient and wait for them.
Right.
So it looks amazing, and they're excited. I'm excited to take them and show them a little edge of the. When I started Prois, they were pretty much middle school, low high school. And now they're young ladies with kids, like they're in their 30s. Yeah. And I'm excited to show them a little corner of the world that I do that they haven't really seen.
I love it. I love that mom is leading the way. we've all had a father, a grandfather, a husband, a boyfriend that may have brought us in. But now, as you've said, there's a little bit of a change. And I think we're seeing it too over this last 10 years where moms and grandmas and sisters are now bringing each other to the range or to the field. I think it's absolutely fantastic. So good for you.
Yeah, for sure.
So can we go back to the startup of Prois? There may be people out there that have thought about starting a gear company or a clothing company or something. Let's talk about some of that, been there, done that, trials and tribulations of what you went through. How big was your team? How big were your dreams at the time?
I am the worst person to ask. I can write a book about all the ways not to ever, ever, ever do it. So there's been more tribulations. I think we've been in business for 18 years. And for that, I'm totally grateful because it's not easy. You see apparel companies, I would say, come and go. And it's not an easy endeavor for anybody. So every time another company comes out, I always wish them the best of luck because it's tough. It's a hard thing to run with. And I had no idea what I was doing when I started. No idea. I was a nurse, so business was not at all my forte. Didn't know anything about manufacturing. Didn't have any of that kind of that skill set. And it was sort of dumb luck in a lot of ways. I didn't have a business plan. So I've talked we have a local college, and I've talked at business places before, business classes, and they have a, kind of a starter program locally. And they're like, maybe you don't need to come by anymore. I'm like, you don't need a business plan. You just need to be flexible. So, it was just one, and it was earlier days in the internet, honestly. I mean, it doesn't sound like it was that long ago, but the capabilities from 2007 to 2026 were entirely different. So it was I found a pattern maker out of Colorado Springs. She did wedding dresses. I didn't know where to start. And she just took a chance on me and helped me with my first patterns. And it took a while to find, I did it all backwards. I didn't realize at that time, I was dead set on making it US made, we're going to do this, and everybody wants that until they can't afford it, which is true. So, I kind of went through it in a backwards way. It took me a while to figure out that really all you have to do is find a really good cut and sew is what they call them. And I worked with some small cut and sews in California for a number of years. And in 2012, I moved over with another company that's based out of Wichita, but they manufacture in Vietnam, Taiwan, a little bit in China. And I realized I had done it all wrong for at least 5 years. So you really can do it a lot easier. And that really helped me get over the next hump. And so it was really, I did it all the hard way to start with. I wish I could go do it again, but if I really wanted to write a book about how to do it, it would be a lot easier. So, so we just kind of kept plugging along, and, we got big out of the chute. It was not big, but big for us. We're just, we were at that time just a mom and pop, and we're not much bigger than that now, but that's by design at this point. But we started getting big box fills and having to manufacture, and that's the good and the bad. You can grow too fast and not be able to capitalize that. And that happens to a lot of people. So you find out how to deal with that. And as we moved on, we realized we did not want to be in the big box stores anymore. They will virtually bankrupt you, short of Shields, which we still have a great relationship with Shields, but all the other ones were really devastating. So we went direct to consumer in 2015, and that was like saving grace for our company. And it's just a great way to do it. So we've kind of evolved. We've gone through, I had a merger where I had partners for about 5 years. And then in 2024, I was lucky enough to be able to buy it back in its entirety. So it's back in my lap, and it's fun. I can do it back my way again. Not that the other way was wrong. It really helped me build, and I learned a lot, and the partnership had a lot of really positive things, but it's really nice to have my baby back in my lap.
Good for you. I'm curious, what was the first what was the first line that you decided to put out? What type of hunters were you trying to outfit at the time when you started?
At the very beginning?
Yeah.
We were trying to, I go back and I find our first catalog, and we had 8 products when we started, but I was really looking toward, the Western hunters, because that's what I knew. I didn't know how to talk to anybody. I didn't really know the industry. I knew what I wanted to do, but it took me a few years to figure out the industry and get kind of enmeshed into where, things had to be. But I was working toward the Western hunters. And so it was, a couple different pant styles, some performance driven shirts, a couple jackets, an accessory or two. And we kind of started rolling with that, but it was, it's since then, from that original 8 to now, we have the most comprehensive line of women's gear in the world. We can cover everything for anything. And I'm really proud about that. It's been a big change.
And so you went from 8, and now in 2026, how many items in your catalog?
Oh my gosh. We have I would say if you break down, we've got like over 100, when you break down color, SKUs, everything, it's, pants are a big deal for us. We were talking about pants earlier, but it's been fun, and there's a lot more things to do and a lot of changes to make, but it's been a fun transition to see where we can go. We've got a long way to go and things to change, but it's been fun.
Beautiful designs, by the way. I had an opportunity to go in and have a look. I am going to be shopping after the show, just have to tell you, because I need a new jacket for Maple Seed, and you have something that's in the gray line. So I'll be purchasing and expensing that. So thank you. Really great.
That's a good time for me to plug, though. This is a really great time for me to plug for you guys and anyone out there. We do have what we called our Field and Freedom program. If you go on our
let's
website,
talk about it.
If you go all the way down to the bottom, there's a little tab that says Field and Freedom. So it's basically anybody in the industry, media, first responders, military, outfitters, wives. You can go in there and apply, and then you'll be able to get our industry discount. You just log into your account. You'll have the discount at all the time. So it's a 30% discount.
Amazing. And you even offer it to all of us folks up north of
Canada.
Fantastic.
That's exciting.
The only difficulty is shipping, but that's normal. If you get between US Post and Canadian Post, it's a mess, but we'll get there.
Right. Well, that's excellent. Well, let's promote that a little bit more as well. Maybe Casey can throw that up on a banner as well.
Yeah.
Sorry, Paul, go ahead.
Well, I was going to ask, so you use just standardized US Post, and then it goes to Canadian Postal Service as well?
Yeah.
Or UPS.
FedEx too. It's, it's whatever our customers want to pay. We offer, a couple different shipping options, but, and when you're out of country, you can choose which one it is. Mm-hmm. FedEx is a little more, it's definitely more expensive, but it's definitely more reliable. My only plug on that. And I don't have stock in FedEx. I'm just telling you.
They're a little bit more reliable than Canada Post. I can just tell you that.
US Post is terrible too.
So let's talk about the company still. So is it still located where it was originally located, or how much have you grown?
In the beginning, we were doing our warehousing and distribution here in Gunnison, which is a very small town. We are now doing that out of Wichita. So all of our shipping, distribution, warehousing, everything is done in Wichita. So we still have the main office in Gunnison, and we basically are running, my job, which is product development, marketing, and we do customer service and all of that out of here. And then our other gals, social media, and everybody work remotely. So we just have a small office here in Gunnison, but it's the hub for the gals that are out there. Our IT is in Washington, and our Shields reps are in Wisconsin. So we're kind of spread out, but like you guys, you make it all work. The world's different now.
It certainly is. And I think that having the ability now to shop online and having the ability that you guys have to fit all body types, because women come in all sizes. So I think that makes it easier, and it makes it, I think, a bit more risk-free, if you will. So that's pretty cool. I like the idea of shopping online. Like Kelly said, you get into those colorful photos and you see all the women and you're like, okay, I think I can do this, right? I think I'm interested.
Yeah.
So outstanding.
Yeah. I love the cut. I love the material that you're using, but I also love, you talked about it, the pants. How hard is it to fit a woman into a pair of pants? I'm going to buy those too. So.
It's the holy grail,
right?
I'll tell you, it's one thing, if you can get women into pants that they love, you have them for life. And all of us are guilty. You find that one pair of jeans that fits just right, you buy 5 pairs.
Right.
And so it's, women are very brand loyal.
Yeah, they are.
They like to support a company that speaks to them, that markets to them, that has customer service. Women demand different customer service, which in my opinion is very easy to do. We have the best customer service, I think. And that has nothing to do with me. That has to do with my customer service manager, and she's the bomb. But finding pants that fit. So the one thing we found is that, as we all know, women come in every shape and size. We have curves, and we have butts and thighs and hips and big waists, small waists, and you've got to find ways to make that work. So we basically run 2 different cuts of pants. One's an athletic, kind of straighter, more fitted, not a boot cut kind of pants, which works really well for a lot of women. And then the freedom fit, which is my favorite one, because I have curves and I'm 57. So it's got more of a adjustable waistband. Everything has 4-way stretch. It's got more room through the thighs and the rear, and a boot cut. And I find it amazing because we do a lot of consumer shows, and the best feeling ever is when you have a woman come in who is not a model. Most of us aren't. 99% of us are not. And they feel like there's nothing there that can fit them. And when we put them in a set and they fit, it's life-changing for them. It's really cool. And I am amazed every time we go out and do a show, the expanse of different sized women that we can actually fit.
And so with regards to that, then, Kristie, if I am somebody who likes to hunt upland, but I also am going to go to the range, and maybe I'm going to go bear hunting, like you were talking about earlier, I might need some camo, I might need some solids. So you're telling me that you've got the same cut and I can get them in all the different patterns?
Yes.
Oh my God.
So for example, let's just take our freedom cut. So that's the kind of, it's more of a relaxed cut, and it's got a lot of adjustment to it too. And it's very flattering as well. It's my favorite. So you could go buy our Proudland pants, which are our upland pants. You could go buy our ultimate lightweight, our Solus pants that have the same cut and they're very lightweight. You could buy our Torre pants, which are the mid-weight fleece line, windstopper, water resistant, kind of warmer weather, same cut. So you know what you're looking at. When you want to get into the pursuit cut, we have a few lines of those. And once you know which one you like, it's the same across the board, as long as you know you're shopping for the same one. So you can get solids, you can get camo, you can get 2 different kinds of camo, lots of different colors. So that's kind of what we've hung our hat on there.
Yeah, that's absolutely amazing. You mentioned about women shopping different, and I did have an experience. I was out at a hunting event, like a trade show. It's a boutique brand. I won't drop their name on the show tonight, but very boutique brand. And I was chatting with them about where the women's line was, and they didn't happen to have one at that time, but they were happy to sell me smaller cuts of men's clothing. And so it was the next year, I believe, same show, same fella, chatted with them. And there were women, and they had a couple of things for women. And I asked him, why the change? Why are more women showing up? And he said, well, we put a mirror in a change room in our trade show floor. So they were catering to women. He said men would walk in, grab 2 things off the rack, say, I'm good, and walk out. Whereas women wanted to try it on to see what it looked like.
Yeah,
it matters.
So, right?
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, think about how we all shop. I don't know is that I've ever taken something off the rack for pants,
right?
Walked out unless I knew exactly what I was getting. But we all know, like you walk into the dressing room with 4 sizes because it could be anything.
Absolutely. I think we shop at the same place, Kristie.
Yes,
Absolutely.
we do.
That's funny. That's funny.
So tell us a little bit about the trade shows. You were talking about you have done a few trade shows, so industry events. Do you have any that are coming up? Yeah, let's talk about those a little bit, where people can see you, try on those pants if they want to try them on as well.
Yeah, down here, our trade shows are pretty much over. We do most of ours January and February. So those are pretty much over for us. Moving forward, we have a few media events that we're going to do. And we'll push on that way. So that kind of limits us out a little bit. We are starting to work on some more grassroots efforts again, getting involved with some of the conservation group events and things like that. It's kind of where we cut our teeth and then backed out of that a little bit, but jumping back into that. So, with the writers groups associations, with the grassroots conservation groups, trying to get into events. I don't mean just throwing some gear at a banquet, but being at somewhere where it's a women's sponsored event. We'll be doing one in North Dakota, for example, with women on the wing with a part of Pheasants Forever. And it's a 4-day event. And that's something I really would like to dig my teeth into and have one of our gals, our coordinators or whatever, jump up there. And Tamer Bartz is our rep up there in North Dakota. So she'll be running that event. So those are the ways we're really trying to just kind of reshuffle the deck and go back to our roots, where we started. So it's been a fun transition.
That's amazing. And are we going to see any of those type of activities or events up in Canada anytime soon?
We're working on it. I've got a number of coordinators up there, Ontario, Alberta, Saskatchewan. So we're working on it and seeing how we can expand it out there a little bit easier and, make it less difficult for the Canadians to be able to see it, touch it, feel it. We realize it's such a hard thing to order stateside and then get it over. And if it doesn't work, and then, there's, tariffs and there's customs and there's all of that kind of stuff too. So trying to make it the quickest, easiest, most efficient purchase ever. And being able to touch and feel it makes a big difference.
It does huge. Yeah. Well, if those events are coming up, have your reps in those provinces reach out to us and we'll see if we can throw something up to get more women out to those events and to hopefully see some of the products that are there.
Yeah,
so.
You bet.
Sounds like you're already looking at Ontario, where I'm from, and then also we have Alberta, where Deneen is from. So
I am.
We got a gal from British Columbia too, as well. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Raheen is from British Columbia. We got you covered.
Yeah,
we'll go. So. We'll go out and So let's talk a little bit about that. So you said you're going back to the grassroots and conservation groups and you're working with those. I know that Deneen asked a little bit earlier about ambassadors. Do you have people that you're working with specifically that are utilizing your gear, featuring do you sponsor shooters or hunters?
I do some of that. It's funny. We've got about 150 staffers. And since the beginning of Prois, I've always believed I'm not going to pay people to wear my stuff. I feel like it doesn't work for either party. It really just doesn't. And it's not a thing. And I felt the most important thing was finding women that were just like me, the girl next door, wives, mothers, grandmas, aunts, girls, whatever, that just share the same passion. And we build our staff around the fact that women are out there promoting it organically on their own. So they're just normal ladies doing normal things. And they are the most amazing women I've ever met. I mean, I've made some of the best friends of my life out of these ladies, and they forged some great relationships amongst themselves. They are the biggest surprise that I ever could have gotten from this business. I mean, I never saw that coming about when I started. And anytime I think about exiting, that's the reason why I don't, because of that. And it's the women. So they're wonderful. I mentioned Kristie Lee Cook to you earlier. We work with her in her show because she gives us such great content and stuff. And, beyond that, we don't really sponsor people particularly. We jump in and help with things like there are 100, the Reinhardt 100 shooting archery shoots that are down here in the summer times. And we just started with that just because it's just kind of off the beaten path, and it gets me in front of people who might not know us otherwise. And I like what they do and how they run their business. And that's kind of how I run things. It's basically, if people are likable, they're worth doing business with.
Right.
And that's the way we build our staff. So it's just regular people like us.
So on your website, speaking of coverage and ambassadors, I noticed that you have quite an extensive list of media coverage, various magazines, industry magazines, and such. Are those women that have been out on hunts, people that have been to your gear shows? What is it that sort of spurs the media coverage for Prois?
It's kind of all of the above. It's writers writing about it. It's press releases that make it out. It's I write some stuff and get it out there. We'll have stuff in Sports Afield or Bugle, things like that over the years. And it's really just getting it all out there. And I'm also proud of the fact that our staff are writing blogs for us. And I love them so much because the blogs they write are from a voice that all of us can, connect with. And they're, like I said, they're wives, they're mothers, we share the same passion. We're all dealing with the same thing. And it's really cool, actually.
I love those blog posts on your website. And I encourage anybody that wants a bit of a warm and fuzzy, finding somebody just like you. There's some great ones there. I have to say I did like them. So
yeah, thanks. I can't take the great again. Those ladies, they just knock it out of the park. So
well, and that the word sisterhood. So that reminds me of, as I was going through the website, getting prepared for this interview, I see a lot of the word sisterhood in your website. Let's talk about what that word means to you, Kristie.
For me personally, it's just this overarching, group of women that just, they connect viscerally. And I think that's the one thing about a women's company is that women, whether it's how you speak to a marketing, as we talked about, customer service, women are just more visceral, and that's a good thing. It's fun when women connect with women. It's so amazing to watch because you hear so much about, you can see it on social media and you can hear people talk about like, I don't like other women and women are catty and stuff. I don't experience that. It's very rare that a woman comes into the fray that doesn't fit in. And if they don't, they work themselves out. That's the way it goes. But it's just it's kind of an undescribable connection and interconnectivity that they all have. And for example, we have, it's a private group for our staff on Facebook, and that's where they go to shoot off dirty jokes or, funny things, or if somebody's having, personal trauma or whatever, it's support or a question about something. It's, true stuff without getting haters on, Facebook or Instagram or something. But it's a great support group, and they're funny. They're filthy animals. They really are. They're just a vile group of animals, but they're amazing.
That's amazing to hear. Yeah. And I think we've experienced that with our ladies that we surround ourselves with. So I'm glad to hear that that sort of is across the industry, because they're just friends you haven't met yet, right?
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Yeah.
I think we would fit in just fine, Deneen.
I think so.
Be careful what you wish for. They will steal your soul. They will.
I think Kelly suggested we're vile or dirty or filthy animals ourselves. I think that's where she was going.
Well, that's all we need to know. You'll fit right in there.
Right?
We will.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we will.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm going through some of your, and again, before the show and preparing, I went through, and some of the tips that you have are really fantastic and great. And I love the fact that, again, it comes from a woman's perspective too. So tell people where they can get your product. Now, you were talking about the fact that you're no longer in the box store ish. I think there was one that you're
Just
still
shields.
working. Yeah,
Shields.
shields. So how can people get your product?
You just hit us online. It's proishunting.com.
Okay.
And then, just start clicking through. And, if you get in there and have any questions about products or size, just reach out to us. We can help walk you through whatever questions you might have. Because again, clothing for women is difficult. It just is. And there's just no one size fits all, but we can get women into anything for whatever they want to hunt and whatever terrain they're going into. So it's hard to go through there. I get it, because everything's in camo. So you're like, well, I was looking at these camo pants, but they look just like these camo pants, but they're entirely different. So yeah, it can be kind of confusing in there.
I'm just, I'm going through the various, so the collections, I'm going through it's really well set up page too.
So what you're saying, Kelly, is you're shopping while we're doing an interview.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm shopping. I was looking before, and now that we're talking about it, I'm going, right? Oh yeah, I really.
Any recommendations I can help you with?
Yeah.
What's your newest line? Do you have like a turkey hunting line or some kind of thing that's coming up, or?
What's coming up? We're just adding. We're actually adding pieces onto our current lines this year. So we'll be having a new upland jacket coming. We did a small run of the upland, the vest jackets last year. Really small run to try them out, and we are tweaking it to make it much better. And so those are coming. We're coming up with some new accessories, some new merino wool pieces. I think what else we got coming up. We're going to do, we're adding on some solids to some other lines. I'm trying to think what else we got coming down the pipeline.
I guess we got to hit up your website to see.
Yeah, we've got some great pieces in, and I'm working on just trying to get things coming in at different times of the year too, instead of just one set buy. So I'm going to be rolling on getting new inventory a couple times a year, which would really be great, So, perfect. Yeah, it's fun. I'm excited to get the new pieces. It's always fun when the new stuff lands. Nice. We just came out with some new logo wear, and we roll that all the time. Just something fun and kitschy and cool and interesting.
I'm really excited about your upland jacket. I know a number of years ago down at the SHOT Show. I don't know if you guys show up down at that, but I think Casey and I were looking at stuff, and there was a company that had a lovely strap vest. And the reason it was really pretty to look at is because it was only a couple of pieces of fabric and a zipper. and as lovely as it looked, I was like, well, where do I put all my stuff for me and my dog and my ammo and my birds and it was like, it was so pretty, but it really wasn't practical. Yeah. And then training is a whole other thing for people that work with dogs in the field. You carry a lot of stuff out there. So I'm excited to see your vest. Sure.
Well, and interestingly, we have sorry for the bad word, but we have a badass. It's called the Pradland vest, and it's a strap vest. It's really great. I think we're out of stock of it right now, and I'm not sure if you'll see it online, but it's awesome. We're working on getting that one back, and everything you need in there and more.
Outstanding. That's exciting. So what big shows? You said they're already done for the year, but if we were out at some of the big shows in the first part of the year, where would have we found you?
We do the Wild Sheep Show, Wild Sheep Foundation in Reno. We do SCI, the National Convention in Nashville. Yeah. For years, we've done the Dallas Safari Club, but we've pulled out of that since they went to Atlanta for the next few years. We do the Western Hunting and Conservation Expo in Salt Lake. We have pulled out the last couple of years, but we may be dipping back into that again too. So that's kind of where we're at. We need to get into the Turkey Federation show, but they all seem to overlap, and it's a lot of ping-ponging, across the country. It's not always feasible, but we're looking.
No, that's good. Thanks. I was just wanting people to know because a lot of Canadians like to head to those shows. We've got a lot of folks that went to that Nashville show, and so they would have seen you there. So
Yeah,
it's a great show.
Yeah, we do get a lot of posts on our socials or are on other people's groups where, you know, can somebody please recommend a good pair of pants, or can somebody please recommend a shooting vest, or what have you. And so so it's good to have this as a point of reference, because I know, as I mentioned before we went live, I've been sporting the same pair of Prois Upland pants since 2010, 11, 12, somewhere around there.
We've done a lot better since then.
Right? Right? If you could put that three-way
the new ones.
First, if you could put the three-way stretch in, I'd be very happy, because
you'll be so much happier with the new ones too.
Right?
Yeah,
Excellent.
you'll love them.
Right on.
But if you're saying that it's been there, they've been your pants for that many years, you know, it's good quality product, right?
Yeah. They come out of the washer and the dryer just like they were brand new out of the package. It's crazy, actually.
Perfect.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good
And
for you.
that's upland. So that's all the burrs and the rose bushes and the weeds and the mud and the everything. Yeah. So
exactly.
All right. I'm just fascinated. I know. I can't. Okay, we need to wrap this up soon so I can go shopping.
Don't forget to sign up for the Friends and Frida or Field.
I will.
You have something called a posse also on your website.
Yeah. Let's
What's
talk
your
about
posse?
that.
My posse is our staff, all the filthy animals I've been telling you about. So they've just kind of nicknamed themselves the posse over time, and they're insane. They're insane. I don't know if any of them are watching, but you know who you are.
Right. So do you have newsletters then, or something people can subscribe to so they can get the latest, your socials, as soon as things come in? How do they find if something new is coming, or that you're about to launch something?
Yeah. If you just hit our website, you'll get a pop-up to subscribe.
Okay.
And then that's where we do our, new product launches. We do promotions really frequently. So we'll put something on sale very frequently, and just to keep people engaged. That's when new logo wear lands. That's where when the blogs come out, and if we're going to an event, we'll pop it out there, and we'll pop it out on our Facebook and Instagram pages as well.
Awesome. So I do have one question on a specific product. One of the things we get asked a fair bit about is a shooting vest for shotgun on the range. And I know Prois used to have them, and there's still not a lot of really good women's vests out there. So you have to buy the man's small, and it's all baggy and bulky. So do you guys still make those really good shotgun vests?
We don't. I know. It's not to say that they won't come back, but when we went through kind of the partnership, that was we basically scrapped everything we did and redid the line with all of our new camo and everything else. So some stuff needs to come back into play. So we're always looking at new things. So it's not to say it's not going to happen.
No, that's a fair point. And you guys really upscaled your technical gear, and we've talked a lot about the cut, and we've talked a lot about look, but I mean, when you're an outdoors person and you are climbing around in inclement weather on mountains or out in fields, the technical factor is really important. Nobody wants bulky wear, and women by default seem to be a little bit colder out in those outdoor conditions. So can you talk a little bit about your technical gear and how you guys have determined it's right for the ladies?
Yeah, you have a couple hours. I think that's, that is the cornerstone of our company is, all joking aside, we spend a lot of time working on fabrics and fit, and really condensing down the best you can do. I'm a big believer in merino wool and down. I think Mother Nature got it right. You're going to get the best. Both are expensive, but you're going to get the best kind of insulation and wicking out of those. That's not to say that synthetics don't work, but that's just what I believe. And then all of our jackets, I know when you look online, they look tailored, but there's always more room in there than it looks.
Mm-hmm.
But really, I believe in keeping everything condensed because you need a base layer, you need an insulatory layer, you need a shell, and that's where you keep your warmth and you keep yourself dry. And if you can do that with the thinnest amount possible, you can still shoulder a gun, you can still draw back a bow. You're not going to get as much bow slap. And so it really is giving women every opportunity to be as warm as possible without being huge out there. And it's hard to walk, it's hard to hike, it's hard to get into a tree stand. And so we really try to offer as much as we can into every piece we put out. And that's the biggest thing is, we're not cheap, but we're not the most expensive either. And we want to make sure that every piece you buy is worth the money you put into it and it's going to last.
I think anybody who's spent time in outdoor pursuits knows that good technical gear isn't cheap, and you're paying for that comfort, multiple hours out in the field or on a stalk or whatever it might be. And that's not the time for, trying to figure out how to add another layer or what have you. So, or like you said, walking around like the Michelin man and not being able to, comfortably carry your pack or your gun or your bow. So
for sure. And everything is about layering. And, it's something we're constantly re-educating women on. And often, I'm not going to lie, and I don't mean this against men, but often have to teach men to kind of listen to us a little bit. They'll come into our booth and say, she needs the heaviest weight jacket you got, but they're hunting in, it gets cold in North Carolina in, October, and that's maybe, 50 degrees, which is cold there for sure.
Yeah.
Let me direct you to something different, but that's just, they don't want that. They want the biggest, heaviest thing, which is not always the most efficient thing. It's, that then you're going to be too hot and then you're going to sweat and then you're going to freeze. And, it's being able to wick and layer and unlayer and, accommodate. And, but it's a challenge we always have is just working on layering and things like that. But it's part of it.
Yep. And you have those tips on your website too.
Yeah.
Layer, right? Merino wool. Yep. Merino wool. Fantastic, right? It's great insulating.
It is the best. I even wear merino wool in hot weather because, I'll give you an example. In 2018, I went to Tajikistan on an ibex hunt, and I got one set of clothes, and I was in merino wool for a week, and it was brutal, sweaty, gross. I slept in it. It was disgusting. I was a vile human being, and it never smelled. And I smell. I'm not a little flower. So it's amazing. And it wicks, it's got, its own UV protection. It's by far the most superior product I've ever found. And I use it if it's not my own stuff, I use it, in other lines. I buy a lot of other merino beyond ours because there's just lighter weight and stuff like that. So it's a fabulous thing. It's not cheap, but what is it? Do you guys ever watch Yellowstone?
Yes, of course.
Good shit ain't cheap, but cheap shit ain't good. So
right, exactly. Absolutely.
Yeah.
The quotable quote.
Quotable quotes.
All right. Yeah. So, okay. What about the lady? Okay. So we have a lot of ladies and men that are listening. What do you want to say to the ladies? What do you want them to know about Prois and the Prois community that we haven't really talked about yet?
I say, come check us out. I would say, come check us out on social media. Again, that's where you kind of get a feel for what that sisterhood we've been talking about is. You're going to see women that do everything. They're taking their daughters and sons out for their first hunt. They're taking toddlers with them on a turkey hunt. They're doing, international sheep hunts. They're doing all of the things. They're fishing everywhere. They're doing everything, and they're just regular women like everybody else. And I think that that's probably the most empowering thing to see. And as a business side, that's where you get to see our gear in action, and you get to see, tips, and you get to see there's a lot of humor over there. And it's kind of a fun place to jump into. And like I said, the website is very, very well done. I shout out to my IT gal, Alicia. She's done it all herself, and she's amazing. but it really does walk you through the feel of what Prois is. And we really try to spend a lot of time describing the products and the sizing and, sizing charts that actually mean something, not just like, oh, what are your measurements? I don't even know what my measurements are. Does anybody know their measurements? But it's really trying to talk people through things and to make a good decision. Or if you're on the fence about, purchasing, maybe we can tip you to that. Because, at the end of the day, we want you to buy Prois because we're very certain that once you do, you're committed. You'll like it.
Right. It sounds like professional gear for the average woman. And
Absolutely.
That's great. Yeah. That's a great analogy. Yeah.
You can have that line for free, Kristie.
Wow, I don't have to pay for that.
So the origin of the name, Prois, where did it come from?
It is actually Gaelic for pride or prowess. And, we kind of fell into that by accident. When I launched the company, I did it before my trademarking came in, and we started with Pike, which I'm glad it evolved the way it did. But we had a trademarking block on it, and we were just launching, but we already had the P. So it was kind of a panic to find a whole new word. And we found that one, and it just is kind of stuck. It really tells what it's about, but it is difficult to pronounce because it looks like a million different things. So,
well, I guess once you know, you know.
Once you know, you know.
Once you know, you know.
So,
yeah.
Go ahead, Deneen.
Kel and I jump. No, you jump in, Kel.
Okay, so I know we're going to get to probably we end all of our episodes with our guests on a certain question, but before we get there, again, like you've been trotting, and I've been doing your I've been going through your website and shopping, making some notes. But I've also been on Instagram as well. And so one of the things here, so if you're okay with it, I'm going to read something off of your Instagram account. It says sisterhood is to be together, laugh together, heal together, and rise together. That is what we're doing right here. And I want to thank you for saying that. That just defines what we're doing here on the podcast, and also Prois. It's wonderful.
Yeah. Well, I love that, Kelly.
Yeah,
you weren't just shopping; you were finding super awesome things. And now I'm gonna cry because it's so emotional, and I loved it.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. That is beautiful, and I echo that. It's exactly why we've been doing this for 5 years, and we keep trying to find new ways to be part of the sisterhood, new ways to get more women and young girls into the sisterhood of whatever this is, the great outdoors, our people. So thank you so much, Kristie, for joining us. So to Kelly's point, we do always end with roughly the same question. And so for you, what would your recommendations be to women or young ladies who want to get into or participate in hunting and shooting and maybe just haven't quite figured it out yet? What would you do or say? Sorry.
The first thing, and I think we all understand this, is not to be afraid. Because if you don't have a mentor of sorts, whether that be a parent or a partner or whatever that would be, to really look into your local conservation groups. For us, it's, DNRs or whatever, natural resources, Division of Wildlife, whatever. There's always something going. They're trying to get women in. And by virtue of getting women in, it brings children in as well. And,
right.
That really helps with the heritage. But it's taking a leap of faith if you don't have somebody that can mentor you. But look into some of the groups on social media that might be near you. I'm not trying to plug us by any way, but, reach out to us, reach out to you guys, reach out to these women's only groups, because that's what we all do. And we all can connect to a lot of different things and to ask the questions and put your anxiety aside and jump in, because it's going to be the most empowering thing you ever did in your life. To be able to know that you can shoot, you can handle a gun, you can, if you choose to hunt, it's very empowering to produce your own meat, process your own meat, provide for your family. It's a whole thing that once women are in, it's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Great words of advice. And it is something that we do get a fair sense of the same theme from a lot of our women. They say, just jump in and give it a try, because likely you won't turn back. You'll keep moving forward. So thank you.
Unless you have a bad experience. And let's just say, if you did have a bad experience with a group that you didn't connect with or whatever, try again, because you're going to find somebody who's going to turn the light on for you and light your fire.
Yeah, you're
find
absolutely
your sisterhood. Find your
that
sisterhood.
Is
yeah, absolutely. And speaking of sisters, our sister Casey is back on the show. So Casey, any good comments, questions, or people dropping anything for us to share tonight?
Not comments that I've seen. Just I think that Kirstie's sisterhood did.
They're tuning in.
They've tuned in. So,
oh my God, I'm sorry.
That's awesome.
Well, I gotta say, it was such a pleasure having you on the show, Kristie. Thank you for joining us. Mm-hmm. Thank you for being part of the She Shoots Sisterhood. And we're all going to be hitting up your website, doing some shopping as soon as we are off the show. Looking forward, yes, looking forward to wearing real clothes designed by real women for the real outdoor pursuits that we love every day. So, so thank you from me, Kelly, Casey. Anything you've got before we wrap up tonight?
No, just a huge thank you again, Kristie. It's great to have you on the podcast, but it's also great to see how much of an impact you're having in the community, specifically with women and outfitting them properly. So thank you for doing that.
Well, thanks for having me. You guys are amazing.
Thanks.
And let us know how we can help you in any way. So we're here. Awesome. We love to connect and cross promote. So let's just keep it going.
Sounds like a plan. All right.
Okay. So why don't we wrap it up a little bit? But Kristie, do you have any events? I know that you talked about some of the shows that you're going to be at or upcoming, or the ones that you typically do. Is there anything that's coming up that you want to promote specifically? We're going to get into ours.
No, we don't have a lot that we personally are going to be doing. Like I mentioned, we'll be going to a couple media events, and then we'll be sponsoring and helping, where we can with the R100 shoots. So that's always worth looking at. But that's pretty much what we have going on online. Pretty soon I'll be posting out. We do a couple women's only hunts every year. So we'll be posting those out here, hopefully in the next month or two.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. But I also signed up for the newsletter.
I apologize in advance.
No, I love it. So, okay. We're going to get into some of the events that we would like to highlight. So the 2027 CCFR Gunny Girl calendar, call it. It's happening right now. The deadline is May 1st, and you can go and get details. You can actually go get the details on the She Shoots page or my Facebook page. I've been spreading it everywhere to get the information on how to enter into that. We have a couple of events that are ladies' days that are coming up. Orono Fishing Game Club. It's a ladies' day and a fundraiser. They're raising funds for the Bethesda House in Bowmanville, which is a women's shelter. It's going to be happening on June 6th at 9:30. Go and register, check it out. Also, that's on our page too. The Orono Club is amazing, by the way. I've been there. It's Dan Lawson is the president. Go in and chat with him, but sign up for it. It's going to be a really fun day there too. There is another event that's going to be happening. It's called I Shoot Like a Girl. I'm going to be at this event. It's happening at the Lower Trent Valley Fish and Game Club. And it's in partnership with the CSSA as well as the CCFR. We've been around since the beginning of this. I think we first put this on or sponsored the event. I think it was 8 or 9 years ago. It was one of the first ones we did as a CCFR event. It's going to be happening on August 22nd from 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Just a word of warning, though. I think that last week it was half sold out, and and that was posted 2 days previous, so it was selling out fast. There's a bunch of events that are taking place. I keep popping them up onto social media for She Shoots, or you can check out the Lady Guns page, or also Project Maple Seed, or our own personal pages too. Denise, do you have any events that you want to highlight too?
Absolutely. We've got a great youth shoot coming up in Alberta at a place called Silver Willow. It's for the youngins, and it's all shotgun and sporting place. So that is this Saturday at Silver Willow in Carstairs, Alberta. So if you go to their website, you will find out if there are still spots available for a mentored day that ends with hot dogs and fun like that. So other than that, I've got some activities at the Ahia gun range coming up. And I also self-promotion. I'm going on my spring goose hunt in 2 weeks. I'm very excited about that. I might have just enough time to get some new clothing. Who knows? So we've got some of that, and of course some of our beautiful women's empowerment days, where I take ladies out and take them to the range and let them shoot a gun for the first time. So we've got some of those. The ladies that bought those at the various fundraisers last year, spring is here, so now they're getting out and getting shooting. So that's going on, and I don't know, Casey, if you've got anything going on in Texas. Okay.
No, though happily enough, my guns have finally arrived. So.
Excellent. You guys have arrived. Awesome.
Hopefully one day on She Shoots we'll be able to announce an event in Texas that we're all going to.
I'm hoping so as well. It's at that point we'll be international.
Right.
Yeah. So the other thing that I wanted to mention is June 6th is National Range Day. Get out to a range that's near you. Project Maple Seed, we've gotten into our full year. The events are being populated onto our event tab of our website. Get out and join us. We have some ladies' days that are also being arranged. Excuse me. Excuse me. Yeah, so we have a lot of people who are emailing in, seeing if we're doing events in different areas. We absolutely are. We're a national program. We'll be near you soon. But you're always welcome to send us an email at info@mapleseedrifleman.com. We'd love to hear from you. All right. Anything else that we haven't covered yet? Because this is the new format for the show, and I'm filling in for Rahina, other than doing the regular outro. Deneen, Casey, anyone?
I think that's a wrap for me.
Okay. All right. Just a reminder, everyone, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear from you about either a sponsor or maybe an event, or send us an email and just how much you love the show. Also, if you're hosting a range day, just like we just mentioned, send it to our email address, and we'll read it out on our podcast too. We do really want to give a call out to any sponsors that are willing to come onto the show. Again, we are transitioning this year, and it's a new format and a new look for us. If you'd like to sponsor the show, we'd love to hear from you. It'll keep our lights on, and also our streaming, putting it out there for everybody. Also, go over to our YouTube channel, give it a like and subscribe, and all those things, because we really need that too. Apple, Spotify. If you want to hear, we are on all of the platforms, as I said, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and iHeartRadio as well. You can see us every second Tuesday of the month, and we're all over Canada. So just hit the time zone that you're in. It's usually in Eastern Canada, in Ontario, the center of Canada, or the center of the world, as we like to say. It's 8 p.m. So wherever you're living after that, it's
Just accordingly.
Just accordingly. Again, we really want to say thank you so much for coming on tonight and having an amazing discussion about Prois this evening. As soon as we get off the air, as I said, I'm going to go shopping. So thanks so much. And
thanks so much, everyone.
Yeah, everybody have a really good night.
Thank you.